As the fighting in Afghanistan intensifies, U.S. and NATO casualties are on the rise, and that has sparked doubts about the war in the U.S. public. Peter Brown is a pollster with Quinnipiac University in Connecticut.
Well, what we found is a lot of ambivalence. A bare majority of Americans, about 52%, think that the U.S. military effort there is a good idea and should be there. But there's real reluctance about the depth and the breadth and the length of the commitment.
In addition, President Obama is getting resistance from some members of his own Democratic Party who want the administration to resist pressure from the military to send more troops. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is taking a wait-and-see attitude.
The president has taken a very deliberative approach to this very difficult decision that he has to make. When we see what the president's suggestion is, what his plan is, then we'll respond to that.
Mr. Obama is also getting pressure from congressional Republicans who want him to accept the military's recommendation for thousands more troops. House Republican leader John Boehner.
I respect the fact that the president wants to make sure that our next steps in Afghanistan are the right ones. But unnecessary delay could undermine our opportunity for success.
The Afghan war, says pollster Peter Brown, has rearranged the usual political alliances in Washington.
The people who normally are President Obama's strongest supporters, people who call themselves liberals or who are Democrats, are the least supportive of military action in Afghanistan, which is the president's policy at this point.
Political analysts see the Afghan decision as a possible turning point for the Obama administration, one with political risk. Presidential historian and author Robert Dallek.
Once the public turns against a war, once it's convinced that you are embarked upon if not a losing enterprise, then something that's going to produce a quagmire, it creates tremendous political difficulties for the president. And it undermines his credibility, trust in his judgment, and his ability to put across his domestic reforms.
Dallek says President Lyndon Johnson's tragic escalation of U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War is the classic case. White House spokesman Robert Gibbs acknowledges the stakes in the Afghan policy review are enormous.
This is not a test for one person. This is not a test for one entity. This is a test for our country to adequately address and correctly address the extremist threat that emanates from Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Presidential decisions on a strategy for Afghanistan and the possibility of sending more U.S. troops are expected soon. Jim Malone, VOA News, Washington.